Night was unfolding slowly, like a heavy book with dark pages. The road stretched as a straight ribbon between empty fields, and Jack's headlights cut through the fog, casting long reflections on the wet asphalt. After the rain, the world felt slightly fresher, but there was something oppressive and sticky in the emptiness. Baxter lay on the seat, licking a paw and yawning, his eyes occasionally catching the headlights' glare, reflecting a predatory glint. Jack remained silent, hands steady on the wheel, but inside, the same unrest gnawed at him, the anticipation that any encounter could end in disaster. He had seen hundreds of miles of roads like this, but something about this night felt different. Ahead, in the glow of his headlights, a figure appeared. A woman. She was standing beside a car, hood up, waving her hands desperately to get attention. Jack automatically slowed down. "Here we go," he muttered. Baxter stiffened, raising his head and growling low. "Calm down, buddy. Just some woman in trouble," Jack said. Though a tight knot was already forming in his chest, he stopped about 30 feet from the car, turning on the hazard lights, and stepped out. The air was damp, smelling of wet grass and gasoline. "Hey," he called. "You got a problem?" The woman turned. She looked to be in her early 30s, dark hair plastered to her face, eyes wide and frightened. Her jacket was soaked, hands trembling. "Car broke down. It won't start," she said, her voice trembling as if she were barely holding back tears. Jack walked closer, peering under the hood. He wasn't a mechanic, but he could see the engine was dead. Wet starter, snapped wires. "No way this starts without a shop," he said. She clutched her hands. "Could you give me a ride? Please?" Jack looked at her silently for a few seconds. In her eyes, there was more than fear. There was something hidden, urgent. He had seen it countless times, the look of someone running. "All right," he said shortly. "Hop in." She grabbed her bag and practically leapt into the car. Baxter growled louder, but Jack snapped his fingers, and the dog settled back down. She sat, clutching her bag as if it contained her entire life. "Thank you," she whispered. "You saved me." "From what?" Jack asked, eyes still on the road. She froze, then exhaled. I need to get away from them." Jack didn't answer. His internal alarm bell was blaring. 10 minutes passed, and in the rearview mirror, Jack saw headlights approaching fast, too fast for this lonely road. "They're after you?" he asked, not turning his head. She went silent, then whispered, "Yes. They found me." "Who they?" "People I ran from." "You don't understand. They'll kill me." The headlights grew brighter. Jack's heart pounded harder, but his hands stayed steady on the wheel. "Great," he muttered. "I knew tonight wouldn't be boring." He hit the gas. The old car roared, tires cutting through puddles, splashing water. The car behind was gaining. Baxter barked, springing near the window. "Sit." Jack snapped, and the dog pressed back down. The woman grabbed his hand. "Please, don't let them take me." Jack pulled his hand away sharply. "Hands off. I haven't decided what to do yet." The car behind got dangerously close, and now he could make out the silhouettes of two men in the cab, one leaning out with a bat. "Well, let's go." Jack swerved sharply to the right, the car bouncing over puddles and mounds. The pursuers didn't fall back. Everything happened in a blur. Jack's car shot onto a narrow bridge, and in that instant, the pursuers tried to ram him. Metal screeched. Baxter growled as if ready to tear the doors apart. The woman screamed. "Hold on," Jack yelled, slamming the brakes, letting the pursuers overshoot. Then he slammed into their rear, spinning them slightly on the bridge. Jack jumped out before their car fully stopped. Hands bare, but it was enough. The car doors flew open, two men emerging, one with a bat, the other with a knife. "Finally," Jack said quietly. "Thought the night would be boring." They lunged together. The first swung the bat, but Jack ducked, hitting him with an elbow to the chest and a knee to the face. He fell, coughing. The second swung the knife, but Jack grabbed his wrist, twisted it, and the blade clattered to the asphalt. One more strike, and the man crumpled next to his partner. "Take a break," Jack said, catching his breath. The woman sat inside his car, pale with fear. Jack turned and opened the door. "Get out," he said. "What? Out? We need to talk." She stepped slowly, still clutching her bag. "Who are they?" Jack asked. I used to work for them. They deal in dirty business. I took the money and ran. This is all I have," she said, gripping the bag tighter. Jack exhaled. "You know what? Your problems aren't mine. But when there's a girl on the roadside at night, I can't just drive by. So now I've got a mess." She started to cry. "I didn't want this. I just had nowhere to go." Jack looked at her for a long moment. Then he said, "All right, I'll take you to the city." But there our paths split. "Got it." She nodded. They slid back into the car. Baxter nestled himself again, watching the woman closely. Jack started the engine, and the car moved forward into the night. The road stretched ahead again. Wet asphalt, dark fields, the silence after the storm. The woman sat beside him, clutching the bag, her eyes wide and wary. Jack drove in silence, once again drawn into someone else's chaos, though he had promised himself he wouldn't. Deep down, he knew he never could. He was the one who stopped at the roadside.